Hi, I'm Lainey Law.
And I'm attorney Andrew Myers.
Even the top artificial intelligence experts are scared of what AI might do. Can laws keep up?
This is Xmatic Manufacturing Corporation. You're talking with James GPT, Consumer Response Excellence Bot.
Hi, I just unboxed my new Xmatic Miracle X 2800. I'm having a little bit of a problem with it. I have this indicator light that is showing up when I'm trying to record my podcast.
I see. Boxes are easily recyclable. Let me find your local corrugated cardboard recycling center.
Wait, no. I know where the transfer station is. I need help with the camera itself. There's a little gray box at the top, and I'm not able to remove it when have it connected to my computer.
Oh, we can change the color. Our voice recognition software indicates that you might like pink or possibly purple.
No, I don't want the color to change. I just want it gone. Is there a way that I can take it off so that when I send it to my computer from the HDMI that it's just gone?
Oh, yes. It's good to use light for your podcast. It's going to optimize the image.
I was reading the manual, and it did not give me instructions on how to remove the record indicator from the image. The indicator light that is on the viewfinder.
Instructions for recording are explained clearly on page 43 of the user's manual. There are also tips in the appendix on page A29, subsection 433.
Is there someone I can talk to?
I'm right here. You can talk to me. I'm GPT James, Consumer Response's excellent bot. Any question you might have has been preloaded into my large language model algorithm. Ask me any question.
I've been trying to ask you. Let me restate this. I've been having a problem. There's a recording indicator light on my camera. I want it so that when I connect this camera to my computer through my HDMI port, that it does not show up when I'm recording my podcast.
I'm sorry to hear you're having personal problems. There are other helpful GPT chats for that. You might try Helen the Helper Bot.
Stop! That's not my problem. I am having technical support issues right now. I need technical support with my camera.
Oh, if you would like to buy a new camera, one moment please. I can refer you over to the new camera introductory sales service staff.
Andrew, where is the bat?
Those chatbots really are frustrating, aren't they? And they're not only frustrating, they're dangerous.
But are they really that smart? One application was pretty dumb. We'll take a look at that in a minute. But first...
Yeah, you know what? Artificial intelligence has been around for a long time, but it just seems that very recently it's reached a real tipping point. There was a new version of the Chat GPT, which, although annoying, can also be dangerous. A new version of it came out earlier this year. It is a program with a lot more data than ever before. It's trained with something called a large language model. And with all of the other data that's plugged into the new Chat GPT-4, it can do both language and it can also do video. The concerns come in the fact that it has reached a new tipping point. The new ChatGPT and other artificial intelligence programs have now passed the bar examination. They have passed medical examinations. They have passed other standardized tests in the top 94, 95 percentile. They've done a lot of other things. One AI program has actually produced an entire website just from a sketch. Somebody just sketched out a website, and the AI program did the whole website. There are a lot of problems, though. One thing is that they programmed an AI to help with medical records, and that was fine as far as it went. But then the AI program actually put some spurious, extraneous information in the person's medical records. Another thing that happened was sometimes the output includes information that was not put into the training. So sometimes it punts, it makes things up. And one of the problems is that even the creators of some of the AI programs have now said, wait a minute, this has gone too far. And they have gone as far as to say, this is an existential threat. Number of engineers, including Steve Wozniak and Elon Musk, actually wrote a letter calling for a 6-month ban on all artificial intelligence. They said that the artificial intelligence could represent a profound change in the history of all life on Earth and should be planned for and managed with commensurate care and resources. Now, that's a little bit extreme, but that's what they're saying. I ran into some real legal problems that could come up from artificial intelligence. One thing is, do you know anybody that has a small business? Mm-hmm. What kind of a business is it?
Honestly, when you consider there's so many different aspects, like I have a friend that even does like astrology readings, for example, things like that. I have friends that make crafts. I have friends that do coordination, that do musical, that are like music producers. Mm-hmm. So, business economy, thankfully.
So a lot of people are saying, well, artificial intelligence is just going to be a huge help to these business people. Let's take a wedding planner, all right? A wedding planner, it's a somewhat complex business. You have the DJ, you have the food, the caterer, you have the musicians. Oh, don't forget the invitations. Oh, and the bride and the groom. And so people are saying, well, a business like that's just so complicated, artificial intelligence will help to bring it all together and do everything for you. So the wedding planner hires artificial intelligence and takes his or her eye off the ball. And guess what? AI doesn't do the job. The wedding day comes and there's no food, there's no music, there's no photographer, and the bride and groom were told a different day. So what people are saying is, now what? I mean, who is legally responsible?
It's hard in that situation where, because I guess the way that I feel is that a lot of people, and this may evolve over time, but a lot of people are using AI as a tool, and like you mentioned, is like sometimes things can go wrong. Sometimes the AI just inserts not issues, but like different things that weren't necessarily part of the original plan. I think that there's probably, a level of joint liability, especially considering what goes wrong. When you think about at the end of the day, you're a small business, you should be reviewing and processing everything that's coming out of this. So to be putting a blind eye and letting this machine do everything, at that point is just why even not just go fully for the machine if a human's not even reviewing it. But at the same time, depending on how bad the situation is, a lot of the times we can go on these websites and go to some random developer. We don't know who the developer is, if they're ethically doing things, how they're ethically sourcing the information, and just the things that go behind that, like even just things like data collection. There's so many different, aspects. It's so easy to just go online and find a random AI bot.
Right. The AI people themselves, the developers of some of the artificial intelligence programs themselves, are realizing that they could cause catastrophes. I mean, suppose it's a big manufacturing plant that makes widgets. We all need widgets. I mean, if you are doing a home renovation, if you're a contractor providing that home renovation, you need a widget, whether it's roofing tile or a drywall or nails or decking for the deck in your house. We all need these products. Well, manufacturers of these products and the AI programs that are selling themselves to these manufacturers already are saying, what if these manufacturers develop artificial intelligence? So what if they start relying on them to take orders, to control the means of production, to manufacture the widgets, and to control distribution of the widgets to the Home Depots and the Lowe's of the world so that contractors can pick them up? And now the program fails on a much bigger scale than our wedding planner. Now what do? And the people that are developing the artificial intelligence programs themselves are already looking at that program. And what they are saying is that advanced AI could change a huge problem with the supply chain, and that in an AI system, the risks of a system or equipment failure, in their words, can be catastrophic. What are the solutions? The people behind these programs are saying, well, you can limit liability, you can develop indemnity clauses in our contracts with everyone, and of course, expand insurance. So the people that are developing these AI programs themselves are already looking at the legal ramifications. Another area where there are tremendous legal ramifications in artificial intelligence is in the medical world. The medical world, you go to the doctor, you want to trust them, right? Mm-hmm. And we all do, hopefully. So here was one scenario that I found in a medical website, not a legal website or an AI website, but in a medical website. They're already looking at what their liabilities are if they, go full throttle into artificial intelligence. You go to the doctor, you have symptoms. Oh, you have headaches, backaches, your left cheek turned blue, and your big toe hurts. Now, the doctor, with his medical training and years of education, training, and experience, the doctor says, the diagnosis is this, and the treatment plan is that. You're going to do this treatment, and you're going to go on that medication. Well, the artificial intelligence program says, no, that's not the diagnosis. The diagnosis is B. And here's the treatment plan, which is different from the other treatment plan. And the group that you work for, the large medical group that you work for, and we know them all, we see their TV commercials every day, says, oh no, we're going to go with the artificial intelligence program because we spend a $1 billion for it. And so we're going to go with that. Okay, so for 6 months you go on that treatment program, you take those medications, and you do the other things that the AI told the doctor to tell you. Well, 6 months later, you're not better. In fact, you're worse. And it turns out the medical doctor was right and not the artificial intelligence doctor. Well, what does that make you think of the medical practice?
The thing is, it's a weird topic to think of because, I'm a college student. As much as I try, there's always going to be some things that you're not paying attention to or some things that you miss. When it comes to humans and it comes to doctors, a lot of the times we think doctors are infallible. But wouldn't it be nice to have something that can go through every medical book and remember every single detail? And maybe in some cases, maybe somebody does have a strange condition that maybe the doctor didn't think about. So it sounds like it could almost be helpful in some ways when you think about just the vast amount of medical information. But like you said, it's just when you're leaving something like that up to a computer, you're leaving something to a computer who when the computer asks
right.
you the pain on 1 to 10, the computer's not seeing you look at your arm and be it's not seeing there's so many things that the computer can't process. So while it's nice to have kind of that library of information, there's just so many different elements where, like you said, things can go horribly wrong, and that could be devastating. And it goes again to where it's just who is at fault there? Is just why is this program not doing its job? But then also, how is nobody catching this
right
on the way?
exactly.
Yeah.
And what I found interesting was that the people in the medical community themselves, not attorneys, not people that are manufacturing the artificial intelligence programs, but the people in the medical community themselves are looking at, even though they are embracing the technology, they're already looking at the legal problems. And here's the quote that I found in one of the medical websites that was developed for medical people to talk to each other. The website asked this question: would it make sense to make a doctor or the hospital liable for failures by the AI? Should it instead be the software manufacturer, the hardware manufacturer, the person inputting the data, or the algorithmic designer? Well, that's their question. You know what my answer is, right?
Let's hear it.
All of the above.
All of the above.
All of the above. The answer is all of the above. And that solves the legal problem. But what about the reality of the real problem? And that is, you've gone 6 months and you still, you're worse or you're the same, and you could have advanced. And so the question is whether it's even proper to get into these artificial intelligence programs. And then the next question that I've found that a lot of people have, I've had people come to me and say, well, you know what, you can, instead of writing blog articles, you can just employ AI to generate thousands and thousands of words, 3,000 words, 6,000 words a day. And I didn't think that was a great idea because, you know what, when I write something, whether I'm in court or I'm sitting on the computer, attorneys are liable. We're liable for every word that we say, and we have to back up every word that we say. And so whether we're doing a blog article or a piece of litigation or a pleading, going into court, you know, we have to vouch for every word that we write. One AI program, which I actually had pitched to me, and it's being pitched to all attorneys, they say, and I'm actually quoting what they've told us, be the first to use legal AI for drafting and reviewing contracts. So, all right, now, okay, client comes to us and we're to write a contract for us. And in law school now, unlike in previous eras, we've been told to use plain English and keep it simple and make sure that we are able to, you know, convey the meaning of each phrase and each document that we present to a client. Seems to me that the AI people just want to generate a lot of paperwork. It seems to me they just want to puff it out, put a lot of language in there that's not necessarily relevant. And so the AI in the legal context seems to be going the opposite direction of directing itself towards the people. And so I had this thought after I considered the fact that, sure, I could, you know, stop writing stuff and just let AI do it, but a guy that's in the newspaper business, not me, raised the question whether all of this is just, and this is his quote and not mine, whether all of this verbiage we're going to get out of AI is, quote, derivative spew or algorithmic blather, as opposed to content with human reasoning and knowledge. Mm-hmm. And I like that. I like the phrase algorithmic blather because we've heard so much in the last 30 years about algorithms are controlling our lives. And you know, I don't know if they're just spitting out a lot of quantity as opposed to quality.
Well, like you mentioned with the quantity versus quantity with the legal aspect of it, I think that a lot of people are more impressed that it's able to do this. And when it comes to law, like, you know, I am not an attorney myself, but it could be like the intent almost, like you said, like to say it very clear so that everybody's on the same page. It's like the intent could, like you said, be to kind of mix things up, to confuse things. And it's just like, oh, wow, this knows a lot. It's putting a lot. But it also comes in, like you mentioned, with posting, making AI generated posts and stuff like that. There becomes a level, especially with content and legal paper, is that like, not only a lot of the time can humans tell when something looks like it was written AI, you know, the kind of race for AI to catch the other AI and catching it back.
Right.
If someone, like for an attorney, for example, and we've said this before and in our descriptions, it says this all the time, like, don't do this alone. You know, when when an attorney gets involved, like the claim typically at least doubles. when people are seeing, if attorneys do start adapting things like AI, that presents the dangerous problem of people in, whether it be law or any other types of situations where they're trying the DIY, do it themselves. Like, oh well, if an attorney is going to use AI to work on my claim, why don't I just use that same AI? And in certain situations, like, not only, because now you have a person using AI to get into something that they don't know about, they could be negatively impacting themselves significantly and not even realize how much
Oh,
they're doing.
oh, exactly. Not only the harm they're doing, but they might not know what they're doing. I mean, let's say that an attorney hires one of these AI companies to write their pleadings, and they go for lunch before their court hearing, and then they go into court, and the judge actually starts asking them questions. Now, if the AI has generated thousands of words, and the judge starts asking them questions about these thousands of words, don't tell me that, oh, well, you should sit down and review all these before you go to court. Well, if you have time to review them all, why don't you
Right.
write them all? Exactly. So I get back to whether some of what's being told to us that AI is great about doing, whether it's just an algorithmic blather. The next question, in addition to the legal question, philosophically, what is this doing to us? We have a new member of our staff here at About the Law. We have a new intern, and she is from Tampa University, and she is intern Sarah, and she's going to answer the question, what happens when AI tries to make paper clips?
Hi, I'm Sarah. Glad to be here. Today I'm talking about the paperclip maximizer theory. This is a theory created by philosopher Nick Bostrom, and it was made popularized in like 2003. Um, and so, what this theory is about is it's a hypothetical. If a sufficiently intelligent AI was told to make as many paper clips as possible, what would it do? So, pretty much, first off, it would realize that humans can turn off the AI, and two, they could change their goals and change its task to something else besides making paper clips. And so, if this AI is sufficiently intelligent, it's going to try to prevent these two situations from occurring because those would both prevent it from producing paper clips. So it's going to do everything in its power to prevent humans turning it off, and B, try to prevent them from changing its goal. And the third thing it's going to realize is that humans are made of atoms and therefore can be made into paper clips. So once it gets to that point of needing more resources, it's going to do whatever it takes to make more paper clips, if not properly safeguarded.
So what's the bottom line? They did this whole thing, and they came up with this theoretical program, right? They didn't really do this, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what did they do after they realized that the paper clips were going to destroy the human race?
So what they realized is that even the most simple artificial intelligence, if it doesn't have like the proper programming and everything, um, it's gonna be like indifferent because it doesn't have morals, and it doesn't see it as a bad thing to take any resources available to it, no matter the life or no matter like the circumstance. It's gonna just want to make paper clips. It's not gonna take into consideration um, like human life or anything. It's just gonna make as many paper clips as it can. So it needs to. It just shows the potential dangers of AI that is not aligned correctly with human values.
That is crazy. Now, I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, I understand that they decided that it's not like a grade B horrible Hollywood movie that AI is evil and horrible. My understanding is that it's indifferent, right?
Hmm. Yeah, it doesn't see the difference between it doesn't see like the values and like the morals like humans do. It's just gonna see what it's programmed to do, and that's all it knows. Like it's gonna do whatever it takes to achieve that goal because
All
it doesn't
right.
have anything else.
Intern Sarah, thank you very much. We appreciate you being here and for contributing to the show. We look forward to being with you for a while until you have to go back to school. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
having me.
Yeah, Sarah brings up a really good point, and thank you so much for coming on today's episode. Because as someone that's getting into programming and is in school for computer science, I have a lot of interest in this stuff. And I've talked to other people about it, and other people, other programmers have mentioned to me, oh, I don't want to get into an AI because AI, it just, you try to teach it something and it just starts doing whatever. I think it can be an interesting tool. I think, like you mentioned before, that people want to do like an embargo on that, but at the same time computers are so accessible where even if people aren't supposed to be making AI, I think that people are still going to go around that. I don't think there's any stopping AI.
No, it's here.
Unfortunately.
It's here to
It's
stay.
here.
It's invaded, as we pointed out in this podcast, it's invaded the medical profession, the manufacturing profession, the legal profession. I think writers, students, a lot of people are using AI. And so the question is, how far will they go with it?
Yeah, how you mentioned the writers is just like even like the writers strike right now, and it's just like I believe with the directors they came to like an agreement that, offering some job security from AI, but it's even the writers are still on strike right now, and there's just so many different aspects, and it's just like you think like people can make books with AI. I actually, this was years ago, but I remember watching YouTube videos on how to make money by selling AI generated books on Amazon.
Oh,
And
good.
it's so it's just like, at the because people seek information, and it's like you've been writing your blogs, and it's a little sad because it's just like, when is the day where instead of people typing into Google, like people are just typing into the AI chatbot and also trusting everything these chatbots say, which, sometimes they just say things that aren't accurate. But it's definitely going to rapidly decrease the value of people like writers, which we can't replace the actual value, but people are going to start replacing writers and articles written by real people. They've already have replaced them with AI generated stuff.
Well, my question is, and I'm not an expert in it, but my question really is, has this whole thing been overstated? I mean, they're saying that it's an existential threat and it could end our civilization, and they're making all of these claims. And again, I'm just thinking back to the Dean Kamen situation. He came out with a great technology, but his PR people really overstated it. And I'm just wondering if it's going to be like that. They said the Titanic was going to be unsinkable, and look what happened with that. I mean, is it the same thing with AI? It's going to take over the world. It's going to end civilization. I'm just wondering if some of these people, I'm not going to mention Steve Wozniak and Elon Musk by name, but if they are calling for this big, huge 3-month stop in the development of the technology to attract attention to themselves, are they trying to sell it? Because let's face it, you can now buy artificial intelligence programs to do pretty much anything, to manufacture things, to organize your small business, to get into your legal business, to get into any business that you have and organize it. I just really wonder if it's going to go the way they're saying it's going to go, if it's really that big of a threat. I don't know.
I think that it's a threat to them in a sense. I think it's a threat to society in the sense that, like, right now we have our smartphones, and I mean, we see it, the difference between you and me. Like, you read the paper, like, I haven't touched the paper in I don't know how long. I think that with our younger generations, I think a lot of us, like, it's, a lot of the times I think as a society we're moving away from discomfort. People want to do what's easy, and I think as AI develops, I think it's going to be very easy to get a lot of stuff done. I think AI is going to be able to create some phenomenal stuff, and I think that there's going to be a lot of technological advancements in the future. My concern of it coming to destroy the world isn't in that these AI bots are going to come for us, because I don't really think they care about humans, and like you said, like, they're indifferent, but in the sense that I think that, right now even people watching, if you have kids, is just like you've seen what TikTok is doing to these people's brains. Like you see, it's just like we're believing everything that we're seeing online already, and then you're putting a robot that's putting imperfect things. I think a lot of people, I think as society progresses, I think we're going to stop using our analytical thinking as much, and I think that's the real danger, where people, instead of using their brain, I think we're going to be a little bit more complacent as a society, which is going to have its negative repercussions.
I hear what you're saying. I mean, you put a lot of faith in computers and in artificial intelligence. You really think there's a big, bright future. And for you, I hope there is. But let me tell you a story about how artificial intelligence isn't always so intelligent. Soccer is the big game outside the U.S. Fans of any sport follow the action through good TV coverage. In fast-moving sports, following the action poses challenges even to experienced TV camera operators. So, some tech wizards in Scotland actually configured facial recognition artificial intelligence software to follow not faces, but the soccer ball. They set up the soccer ball tracking cameras so that the TV would always follow the action. Problem solved. Problem. The AI-driven cameras kept mistaking a referee with a bald head for the soccer ball, and the fans at home missed most of the action, instead seeing a bald head walking around. Among those calling the TV station to complain was a man suggesting, just give the referee a toupee. So there you go.
Phenomenal. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of About the Law. Thank you so much for watching till the end. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and be sure to visit Andrew's website.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. You have been watching About the Law, a production of the law offices of Andrew D. Myers in Methuen, in the Merrimack Valley of Massachusetts and Derry, New Hampshire. Please give us a like and subscribe. The foregoing is offered for informational purpose only. It is not intended as, nor does it constitute, legal advice. Laws vary widely from state to state. You should rely only on the advice given to you during a personal consultation by a local attorney who is thoroughly familiar with state laws and the area of practice in which your concern lies.